In this job, once in a while, I get to meet people who are kind of transcend just your normal rock and roll star. I get to meet rock and roll gods. Today, I've got such people in the studio. These people lived through the most iconic and amazing period of Australian and indeed world music. I present to you the Lost Legends Showcase with the Dead Singer Band. Welcome to the show, gentlemen, today.
Hey, Greg, how are you?
Thank you, mate. Thanks for having us.
Good to have you. Good to have you on show, and I see you've
mate,
come in character.
I mean, look, if you got it flawed, I say.
These guys are actually so good. What we've done this week is we're going to divide the show into two parts because there are so many stories and so much we need to know from these fellas. So stick around with us for the next few weeks. I really didn't have to do any research on you guys. I knew about you already. You kind of survived and flourished through pretty much the equivalent of Australian Beatlemania, and I'm sure you've got some incredible stories that you want to tell us. So we'll start with the band. Tell us how your experience kind of progressed you to kind of be to this point where you are now.
Yeah, well, we obviously we've come a long way. We've been music all our lives, and it was at Jim Keys's funeral a few years ago that we all went down. Now, all the members of our band, Dead Singer Band, with the Lost Legends Showcase, we actually have we've had turns in the Masters Apprentices, all of us.
Yeah.
And Roger has been in the Masters Apprentices, Colin and myself, and we actually went down to Jim Keys' funeral, and Jim. Whilst there at the wake and stuff like that, we were talking and we said, look, we do want to do something to keep Jim's name alive, you know, because he was an iconic, he was a big star. And we said, what can we do? And we didn't just want to, have a tribute band to him, just churning out Masters Apprentices stuff. So, and then we started talking and we thought, hang on a minute, we've been in all these bands that the singers, Aussie legendary singers, have died. And we thought, wow, and we started to go through the bands, and we thought, well, we knew Billy Thorpe really well, Ray Brown, knew Michael Hutchence before he became famous, Doc Neeson from the Angels, all these people, and they're dead now. And we thought, well, why don't we get a band together and pay tribute to all these legends, all these Aussie legends.
But that's the thing about it. It's more than just a tribute. I mean, it's not just a bunch of sort of people that get up there on stage and sing the songs and do the moves. You've got a multimedia presence at the gig itself, and it's kind of what I like to think like larger than life, bigger than Quo Vadis, for those who know what Quo Vadis is.
It's sort of like it's a show within the show, really.
Yeah.
Well, it is. We think of it as a rockumentary.
Yeah, rockumentary.
And it's a two and a half hour thing where we're talking about the people we know and telling stories about them. We have video and
So talk me a little through the show. So I'm one of the audience and I sit down in the front row because I just would. So what am I going to see? What's going to happen when you guys get out there and strut your stuff?
Well, look, you'll see. What you will see is 2.5 hours of iconic singers who have passed on, but we do have video of the exploits, and then we have we tell stories about what they were like and what we were like. Roger, for instance, was in Stevie Wright's band.
Yeah.
And we've got a section about Stevie. We've got a section about all these singers, you know. And
of course we know him, Stevie.
Nessie has been a fantastic singer. Nessie has been. She is a fantastic singer. So, and Nessie does Chrissy Amplet. We talk about Chrissy and little Paddy. We have little Paddy, who's Chrissy's cousin. Telling stories about her on video and stuff like that. So there's all that stuff that all works for us. You know?
Jim's son, all these people. There's lots of people doing it. Like
Ted Mulry's brother Steve. You know?
Yeah.
Steve, lovely guy.
Yeah, he's a lovely bloke. Yeah. Hi Steve, how you going, mate?
Steve.
Because you are approaching icons, people that are household names, particularly in Australia and indeed throughout the world, is there a weight of responsibility to actually do justice to these people, to actually present them in a light that's appropriate and respectful, and also mindful of the artists themselves?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, mate.
We're very, very mindful of it. And I often come off stage and we talk with people and I tell them, and it's true, that when we're out there and we're doing those songs, it feels as though they're there with us. And you're almost crying sometimes because you're feeling, you're thinking, oh, Billy, I know Billy talked to me a month before he died and said, I've never felt better, and you go, wow, but you feel it. You feel it in your heart. It's fantastic,
So, I'm sort of taking a little bit of a license here, but there's a certain personal passion in there. It's not just formulate, going out there, doing the moves, doing the funny face and the funny voice, and then getting on stage and getting paid. This is a personal investment that you guys have in this idea.
Absolutely.
But look, it's to honour them. That's what we do it for. Because these guys were legends, and they'll always still be in our eyes.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, I mean, to honour these people, we love to honour them because they deserve it. They were class. They were wonderful Australian icons, rock and roll,
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and
that's how we feel
much as we jest, it is like that. I mean, these are people who could not walk down the street unrecognised.
That's true.
I remember encountering Doc Neeson at a hotel, and one afternoon, I think he was watching a band or something like that. Yeah. And I found it difficult to watch the band. I said, oh, no. I became one of those loudmouths screaming, Anyway, enough said.
And that's absolutely exactly how we feel when we're doing these things. We know that if they're looking down upon us, they'd be saying, go, guys, keep us alive.
Yeah. So take me back. We're going to go back, way back when. No names, no pack drill. But back in England, what? Tell me a little bit. You were telling me before off camera that you actually had you had access to Led Zeppelin's gear, their unused gear. Tell me a little bit about that.
Okay. Well, we in London, Colin and myself, we went over there with the Masters Apprentices for a while, and then I think Colin came back and joined AC/DC, and he was the first drummer for AC/DC. And I went back to England, and Colin came over, and we got into a band called George Hatcher Band over there, and we actually played support to AC/DC at
which was
Hammersmith Odeon, which was the night that Bon died.
Right.
So, and we were probably the last people to see Bon because we all went back to the music machine and had a
3-story thing. You begin it.
Yeah, but anyway, we 3-story unit. I don't know what that means, but anyway, Bon, who never went home, he was always the last to go home.
I know, because I used to share a room with him.
Yeah. And
so,
well, Bon was a roommate. This is a frightening concept. Now, I just can't see it in my head that Bon Scott did a lot of picking up after himself. Am I right?
No.
Very, very funny.
Well, it ended up that night where it was about 5:30 in the morning, and the others had gone home, and there was only Colin, myself, and Bon. And Bon, who never went, he was always last to go, so he said, I'm going home. And Colin and I looked at each other and thought, what's wrong with Bon? Anyway, so... But
there's plenty of women there. We'll be on and off we go, but no.
This is parents,
yes.
don't worry. These are
the old days. Yes. But anyway, so Bon went off, and Colin and I said, well, we may as well go home, which we did. And then the next day we got a call and they said Bon's dead. And we were expecting the police to come around and have a talk to us and stuff like that, but nobody...
Because when he left us, I'll say that I swear to this, that I know Bon because I've been out drinking with him many times. And I mean, he was not drunk that night. Bon, for you, mate. No, he wasn't drinking that night. No, he wasn't drunk. He was not drunk, because I know when Bon was drunk and when he wasn't drunk. So it was freaked me out, because I mean,
Yeah, I suppose everybody had the same sort of thought. He's alive. He's absolutely indestructible, and then he's gone.